There's a new op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. It's titled, "The SEC Treats Crypto Like the Rest of the Capital Markets," and it's written by SEC Chair Gary Gensler. He compares crypto to car manufacturers. He says, in September 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act. Nearly 6 decades later, seatbelts and other basic safety features remain standard. That's true despite many innovations in the automotive technology. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading this morning. Similarly,
you nailed it.
He goes on, I'm trying, Similarly, he goes on and says the laws that were made to protect investors shouldn't change just because a different technology is used. So the article is mostly focused on crypto lending platforms. There's not much talk about defining what's a security and what's not a security. Wendy, I know you have lots of thoughts on this, so I'd love to hear your opinions first.
So if we're going to go by that logic, wouldn't the interest that's given back to us by leaving our money in our savings accounts at these centralized entities, also known as banks, shouldn't that be classified as a security as well? I don't know. One of the things I'm having really big issues with is we're not just talking about brand new technology. We're talking about brand new technology that has all these different subgroups. It's not just like a car. You literally put a car together and it goes. I know that there's different parts, different things that are required for that. But at the same time, we're talking about a technology that's got all these different subgroups that do different things. Some of them are currencies. Some of them are layer 2 solutions. Some of those are the actual building. Some is the code that puts things together. Some are smart contracts. Some is money, et cetera. So if we just focus on putting everything under one basket, what we're going to end up doing is kind of stifling the entire industry, stifling innovation, and at the same time, really stifling the economy in the United States of America, because we're going to see more people that have the opportunity to make a lot of money move overseas and develop in a place where it's safe for them to do so. And then the United States doesn't get any of those tax dollars. So at the end of the day, it's really hurting the entire country.
Fair enough. I like to see Gary Gensler punching back a little bit. It's kind of funny, actually. If you just look at it from a narrative perspective, a lot of people on crypto Twitter and in general have just been very unhappy with him ever since he came into office. They've not been very thrilled with his Bitcoin moves, whether it be the ETFs. They haven't been very happy with his moves against exchanges, notably Coinbase this last summer. They've not been happy with his stance on tokens and the lack of guidance for these projects. But doesn't care. He's fighting back, right? He's posted a lot of videos, and now we have this Wall Street Journal op-ed. So just from like a larger comm strategy perspective, that's very interesting as well. And to be honest, this op-ed just sort of follows up on what the SEC has been saying for quite a while. They think that these lending platforms, these sort of neobanks for crypto, really are securities, and they've followed through on that, and that's where they're going after a few different firms. BlockFi, I think it was last summer, they started making an inquiry into them, and now Coinbase this summer for securities. A little bit different than lending itself, but obviously the SEC has its own opinion on these things. I think I do speak for the industry a little bit though, or at least can reflect on what they say, and hey, we want more guidance and more clarity. We don't just want more op-eds and punching back. Zach, up to you.
Yeah, definitely stoked a bit of conversation online. We saw Mark Cuban, the noted Shark Tank investor and Dallas Mavericks owner, sort of, strike back at this statement, saying, hey, you should make these more clear. Can we get some clear guidance here? If you guys know so much, where's the guidance? And it was funny to see him sort of rail against this op-ed on Twitter, as did others. But it is, I think, to Will's point, it's interesting to see Gensler strike back, right? He's been sort of working his magic a little bit behind the scenes and has yet to make very loud pronouncements. We've seen some interesting, like SEC, like meme commercials. We've seen other sort of enforcement action, obviously. But for Gensler to come out and sort of clearly articulate his rationale for why crypto doesn't deserve special treatment is certainly notable, right? I guess the argument for special treatment of crypto assets would be that these are on blockchains that provide certain transparency and audit benefits.
Zach and I can't speak today. Yeah, thank you.
You and Jen. Take them off the screen.
We're really working on the words. We're really working on the words. Anyway, there are different things to these technologies that could be used to make sure that consumer protections were enforced. But clearly the view here is that, we should have same framework for different type of things, right? As opposed to creating a new framework for a new set of technologies. Clearly, Gensler's view is no. We need to have these things comport with existing rules that date back to the 30s and even beyond. I saw Wendy. I saw Will. I'm going to toss it to Wendy, and then maybe Will will get in there too.
I really agree with Mark Cuban here. If Gary actually really cared, where's the action? Why haven't we seen the actual protection occur? We haven't. We've seen nothing happen. The only thing that we have seen is we've seen the SEC go after crypto companies, or however you want to classify them, years after they have launched. How is this helping the industry? Instead of Gary posting articles for Forbes or Wall Street Journal or wherever and doing positive PR for himself, when is the actual work being done? Where is our taxpayer dollars going? Where is the money going that's funding the SEC?
Great question. I'm just looking at his Twitter account really quickly as a side, and every time he posts, he gets massively ratioed. This guy is not doing super well on Twitter. Maybe he should just log out for a little bit.